Good morning. I'm Pastor Ben Hayes from First Baptist Church, Dadeville, Alabama, bringing you our thought for the day today on this Tuesday morning. And I hope that you are having a great day so far. I hope that you've had a chance to spend some time in the Word and with the Father. If not, maybe use this time together with us today to look at something that may touch your heart. I love the book of Proverbs and the fact that King Solomon gives us some pretty good common sense everyday wise sayings that help us in this life that we live. He's not like the great philosophers that do these outlandish principles that nobody really can comprehend and trying to figure out the meaning of life and the meaning of the universe. But instead, he touches on everyday, ordinary things that would apply to each of us. And today, as we look at verses 6 and 7, just remember, we don't have kings and princes in our culture today, but the principles are still the same. So listen to what he says. He says, "Do not exalt yourself in the presence of the king, and do not stand in the place of the great. For it is better that he say to you, 'Come up here,' than that you should be put lower in the presence of the prince whom your eyes have seen." Does that remind you of anything? Jesus actually used the same analogy with his disciples who one day were arguing about who would be the greatest. The picture here is of somebody who thinks more highly of themselves than they should. And there are a lot of characters in the Bible that fit that description. One that stands out to me is Haman. You remember in the book of Esther, Haman thought the world of himself and, in fact, ended up really distressed when he thought the king wanted to honor him, and because who else would the king want to honor except for Haman? And he found out that the king really wanted to honor Mordecai, the Jewish man that Haman hated, and Haman ended up being the one to dress Mordecai in the royal robes and lead his horse around and declare to everyone that Mordecai was favored by the king. This is the picture. We need to not set ourselves up as something greater than we are and just realize that if the time comes and someone wants to recognize something we've done, wants to honor us, they will do that. But if we try to put ourselves in a position to be honored, so much of the time we will be humiliated as Haman was. And Jesus said, when you go to a feast, don't put yourself in the seat of honor. Because what will happen is someone more important than you will come along, and the host will say, "Hey, you need to move down here." Jesus said instead, sit at the lower seat and let the host come to you and say, "Oh, no, 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 friend, you need to sit up closer to the front." Um, there's a big difference in the way that we feel when something like that happens. And so King Solomon is just trying to tell us that we should humble ourselves, be humble. There's really no greater quality that I think is attractive in a Christian than the quality of humility, an understanding that in God's sight we are nothing, but because of the blood of Jesus we are everything. It's this idea that we can do nothing on our own, but with God we can do all things. It's a realization that God has come in the flesh to this world to show us what it truly means to be great. And what Jesus did is that he became a servant to all. And that's important. And I hope that you'll realize that today, that being a servant is the way of the cross. It's the way of the Christian. So today, as you focus on so many things that are going on in our world, as you get ready for the Christmas season, as you're struggling with this COVID-19 virus, as we have been at our home, as you're dealing with all of the strains and stresses of life, just remember that God is always there and he is ready to exalt you if you'll just humble yourself before him. I hope that you have a great day today. God bless.